A very good day to Dr. Muhalim. Today I will be presenting about my industrial training. This presentation includes the details about the company, the projects that I've done, daily tasks that I've experienced doing with what I've learned from that, achievements, challenges that I faced, and lastly about my suggestions that I would like to give. Firstly, to be very precise, Top Glove is a glove manufacturing company. It consists of 55 factories all over in Malaysia, China, and Thailand. The Top Glove Tower is located in Satya Alam Shah Alam Selangor. Information Technology Department plays a crucial role in Top Glove and it has been divided into a few teams for a better organization. That includes network and security team, big data team, innovation team, mobile apps team, and lastly, the service desk team. During the industrial training, I was given three main projects, which is the antivirus deployment, VLAN ID standardization, and CCTV network maintenance project. In my first project, which is the antivirus deployment, the aim was to uninstall the Symantec antivirus and to install the Trend Micro Apex One antivirus into the user's device in all factories. In this project, three methods were suggested to do the remote accessing, which is the HTML remote, gateway remote, and lastly, the browser remote. HTML and gateway remote is done using the Ivanti management console, whereas the browser remote is done using the IP address of the user's device. However, in this project, I used the browser remote method. The remote access is done using the LAN desk remote control. Initially, the user will be notified about this task in order to accept the access permission and will be requested to provide their device IP address. Two methods were suggested to do the uninstallation of the Symantec antivirus. The second method, which is using the clean wipe tool, is only suggested if the first method fails. And lastly, the Trend Micro Apex One antivirus installation will be done by copying and running the Apex One installer from a folder shared by my mentor. My second project is about the VLAN ID standardization. This project's objective is to renew the VLAN ID of the switches in all factories under Meru Klang. Basically, the VLAN 15 was renewed to VLAN 115 and VLAN 18 was renewed to VLAN 118. This project was assigned to three trainees, including me, with three phases respectively. Each phase has 11 factories to be completed. The first step of the project is to view the access point status. This status is viewed to check if the access point has a VLAN. If the access point has a VLAN, the VLAN ID renewal configuration will be done. If the access point doesn't have a VLAN, the VLAN tagging configuration is done. In this project, the Ruckus TM website was used to view the access point status, whereas the configurations were done in the Qt software using the IP address of the switches in each factory. The third project title is the CCTV Network Maintenance Project. Basically, this project's objective is to collect CCTV related data of 34 factories in Meru Klang. The main platform used to carry out this project is the CCTV app. The yellow picture on the right is the CCTV app logo. In this app, users can view the CCTV footage and faulty channels from the TG intranet. This project has three phases. In phase 1, the data collection of the digital video recorder in the CCTV was done. Each factory CCTV has around 10 to 12 DVRs respectively. The total number of analog camera, IP camera, and the model of each DVR IP address was recorded by accessing each DVR in every factory in the CCTV app. In phase 2, the total number of camera in each area was recorded. While recording the camera count, each channel will be checked to identify the faulty camera. Thus, The faulty CCTV channels with location will be recorded as well. This phase is the part of the incident response planning. It comes under the identification phase. Phase 3 is the most crucial part of the project. In this phase, the recurrence analysis of the faulty CCTV channels will be done. The faulty CCTV channels of the current month will be compared with the faulty channels of the previous months to identify the repeated faulty channels. The root cause of each channel failure will be identified as well. In the end, a report will be submitted to the person in charge for the root cause eradication process. This phase comes under the containment and eradication phase of the incident response planning. This CCTV maintenance is done to ensure security and data availability. During my training, I had experience doing various tasks under the network team. Firstly, I was asked to monitor the WAN utilization and internet bandwidth in factories and towers. I learned to monitor the factory and tower unified daily internet bandwidth by referring to graph based on traffic in and out speed. This monitoring is done in the MyGreece PRTG monitoring website. Secondly is the task about the firewall log analysis. I was guided to inspect the source address, and destination port for all connections in factories. Thirdly, I was given to update the DHCP Excel checklist. This project is about the DHCP IP mitigation. My role in this project was to update the checklist by recording the network IP range, total addresses, leased addresses, and excluded addresses in the DHCP server using the PuTTY software. From this task, I have learned to use the types of DHCP pull commands that varies based on the type of switches used in the factories such as Aruba, Alitalysis, and Huawei switch. Next, I did data classification for the Information Security Management System audit. From this task, I learned to organize the audit documents based on the level of sensitivity by categorizing them into confidential, restricted, or public. Besides, I was given an opportunity to handle the help desk system. From this task, I learned to analyze the technical issues occurs in the company, assess employees' needs, and redirect critical issues to appropriate resources. Apart from that, I was always asked to do network equipment purchasing. This task is to do the purchasing of switches and cables to be installed in factories. This purchasing should be done by filling in the case report form and asset maintenance form according to the company code, cost center, and plan that varies respectively for each factory. Nextly is the CCTV footage tracing task. This task is done if any security issue occurs. In this task, I have learned to trace the footage by referring to the time and door access log by accessing the playback in the CCTV app. Besides that, recently I was given to do user account creation in all factory DVR. This task is to provide data availability to factory admins to access the CCTV app to view CCTV footage whenever needed. Lastly, I have experience doing two-layer switch configuration with another training. In this task, my part was to reset the Elite Telesis switch to factory default. From this task, I learned to do switch configuration and perform basic configuration before installing a new software version. There are many achievements I have unlocked during this industrial training. Firstly, I consider never failing to complete tasks within timeline as an achievement. I have always given my best part and always made sure to finish the task on time. Secondly, I was able to learn about the incident response planning and apply it in the given project. As an intern, I was able to build professional relationships with people of the same field. Thus, I got a great opportunity to learn and ask questions to them. Apart from that, I've learned to monitor and maintain the company's network website. This will be very useful for me when I start working as a new employee in Top Glove after my degree. Besides, learning about the company's help desk system and providing the help desk support whenever needed itself is an achievement for me. Moreover, I learned to liaise with other employees regarding tasks using email. Thus, I've learned to write a proper formal email. Writing an email in a proper way is very important to give the right impression to the receiver, which comes under the work ethics. I also learned about the roles and responsibility in a network team. Last but not least, I was able to learn about my strengths and weaknesses. During my internship, I faced several challenges, but somehow I was able to overcome it. My first challenge was the movement control order. Due to MCO, one of my projects was postponed due to the inter-factory movement restriction. We were asked to work from home, but luckily work from home was manageable as we were asked to connect VPN to access the company website. Secondly, during my work from home, I was given multiple tasks. Too many informations was delivered at the same time. It was quite difficult for me to understand. In order to overcome it, I didn't hesitate to ask a lot of questions so that I can clear my doubts to avoid repeated mistakes. I always try to be a fast learner by being proactive. Thirdly, working experience was a new lifestyle for me. In the beginning, it was quite difficult for me to manage the long hour routine, but somehow I overcome it by engaging to more tasks during my work hour to avoid the boredom. Lastly, I was given unexpected tasks. I was given unrelated tasks at times. I was hoping to learn more useful and relevant things. Thus, I had a clear discussion with my supervisor and shared my interest to learn skills related to networking. My supervisor was very supportive and he always made sure to give me a proper task. There are several suggestions that I would give based on training experience. Trainees should be given hands on skills related to their field. This is to give exposure to variety of experience and this will allow them to learn more useful skills. Secondly, trainees should be provided with proper facilities. A good, efficient laptop is very important to ensure the trainees work effectively. Lastly, trainees should be given proper guidelines for every task and projects. This will allow them to understand the things that should be done and should not be done, which will help to prevent unnecessary mistakes. In overall, it was a good working experience with Top Glove. I was always surrounded with friendly people who never failed to guide me. That's all from me. Thank you.